man, did I step in it with this commentary on the Holy War. And by step in it, I don't mean that I feel bad about what I said or think that I was wrong about anything, but I walked like right into the middle of what feels like just a war zone, back and forth. I mean, my Twitter mentions, you guys, I stopped checking them very, very soon after because it just turned into fighting back and forth and people going down into the mud, and it was getting down and dirty. And I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, the Holy War is different, man. It's on a different level. Now, I got some insight. From the Utah side and some pushback from Utes fans on my position in all of this. Okay, so I thought, to be fair, I would bring some of that to the table here. If you're wondering, all right, well, John, what exactly the hell are you talking about here? Like, what was the take? What's going on? If you didn't see it, you can go back and watch the video on the channel. If you subscribe to the Open for Business newsletter, you can read that there, ofbnews.com. But Tampergate occurred because a couple of Utah beat writers basically publicly accused BYU of trying to tamper with three different Utah football players. That led to a war of words between the fans. And my take was predominantly, I just think it's lame to complain about tampering in 2025. I mean, happens everywhere. Literally three, at least, Big 12 schools had their quarterbacks contacted by Tennessee within the last week, like as this is going on, as they're looking for a replacement for Nico Iamaleava. So other people are dealing with it, and I didn't see nearly the type of outcry about that I have from others. And I also just think it's the ultimate glass house situation. If you stand there and complain about tampering, and Baylor fans, I mean, look, I saw a ton of it about Rob Wright. I understand why you're upset. I'd have to think you're in a glass house there too. Everybody does it. So the second you start to do it, your squad's doing it also, or is going to very soon, and it's going to burn you. My other point was just that I think the struggles of Utah this year combined with BYU's success had to be something that was supercharging the reaction here. That there would not be as much consternation about this if the roles were reversed, or if Utah had simply had a football season that they were accustomed to having. Maybe if they had not lost to BYU at home in such soul-crushing fashion as they did. All of these different things play a factor. And I stand by all that. I mean, I don't think any of that is wrong. I don't think any of that is off. But I did acknowledge, like, hey, I get that there's an undercurrent here. There are some undertones that are beyond just what meets the surface. This is not just purely about results on the field and cheating and whether or not one side was cheating. I get that there are other things at play here. Obviously, there is a religious aspect to this that can factor into the undertones. A holier than thou attitude that I think the perception is from some on the Utah side is displayed by those on the BYU side. And so I got a lot of pushback like, hey, man, you're new to the rivalry. You don't understand all the intricacies or how deeply embedded a lot of this stuff is. And I said, you know what? Fair enough. Teach me. Okay. So I did. I had some Utah fans that I appreciate weighed in on some of this and said, hey, a lot of this is how much differently a tampering or like cheating allegation, what kind of different weight it carries when I've been looking across the aisle here at my BYU internet far too online brethren, and I've been seeing them kind of play up this holier than thou attitude. And you had a BYU rep that was out there saying, never the highest bidder. That was something I heard about that comment a lot. And I know that just happened recently here. And so that is clearly driving a lot of this. The comment from BYU that they were never going to be the highest bidder when it came to NIL. And this was back in the Rob Wright controversy. BYU fans feels like we can't go like a week right now without some kind of something we need to put a gate on. Rob Wright gates. Rob Wright gate, it was, hey, we're never going to be the highest bidder. That's not what we're about. Okay. We're going to be competitive with NIL, but we are never going to be the highest bidder. And so you've had, I think, that thrown back into the face of BYU fans a lot here. Like, okay, then why are you trying to lure these guys into the portal by throwing a huge fat bag of cash at them? So I think there's a lot of that baked into it there. I even had one person suggest to me, hey, this might be just a little bit of a tactic from Utah and its fans to put pressure on BYU to like reel in their wealthiest boosters. Because if the idea there is like, hey, we really need to abide by this never the highest bidder reputation, and we care about our reputation, which that is one thing that I have learned throughout all this, is that there are definitely those associated with BYU who do care much more about that reputation of being squeaky clean and, you know, not a dirty program or a program that's going to do anything that's not above board. I don't know. I think the rest of us, especially in this world we live in now, where it's basically lawless. I mean, college football recruiting it's just like living in the purge right now. I mean, anything goes. You can run around and stab whoever the hell you want in the back. Everybody, most anyway, seem to have kind of embraced that more so than maybe some BYU fans have. So I am understanding more of these dynamics now, the deeper and deeper that we get into this. But I did want to just close and say, I mean, this is what makes the Holy War great. Like, I have no doubt in my mind. You can tell me I haven't experienced this enough all you want. Again, fair. Again, true. You can tell me too. Let me make this last point also. I heard a lot like, hey, man, you guys really generalized, you guys being Big 12 fans, really generalized quite a bit about the Utah fan base based on a vocal minority. Hello, Utah Pig Bus. A vocal minority that was out there throughout the whole Big 12, Pac-12 saga, really causing a ruckus. And it was not fair to just associate us all with that. And I said, fair. Okay. That is fair. There is generalization going on both sides. So when I talk about, hey, some Utah fans are saying they see this self-righteous side to BYU, and that's driving a lot of what's going on there. There's been some generalization on both sides where then, Big 12 fans who I think have really cozied up to BYU because of the mutual hatred for Utah based on how some of those fans acted. Yeah, it was not the whole fan base. It was a really loud handful of people on the internet, more or less. So that's another factor here. But this is clearly the Big 12's best rivalry. Like, I don't know how you could listen to any of this and not completely agree wholeheartedly with that. Like, hey, where we are at right now with this thing, there's nobody that's touching this in terms of a rivalry in the Big 12. And we are very fortunate to have it. And these are the things that make college rivalries great, because it's not, look, the NFL, like, okay, you live in Denver, I live in Kansas City. We don't like our teams. I hated John Elway. He ruined parts of my childhood, Peyton Manning, whatever. That's not the same as, man, we've got a religious element here, whether or not you belong to the LDS church or not. We've got, is somebody self-righteous? We've got, does somebody look down on the other one because they played in a couple of Rose Bowls? All the family interconnectivity, family and friends and community going on, that, like, so many layers to this, so many levels to this, and it creates very intricate, very layered arguments that become very charged. Also very, very charged arguments. And that's definitely what we've got here. So that's been on full display. It's what makes college football awesome. It's what's going to make, who wants to watch the Holy War this year, guys? I very much want to watch that. All the storylines, all the tampering stuff, but also, Mark Harlan's antics at the game last year, the controversy over the holding call, the way that both of those seasons went. Utah now trying to make a statement after back-to-back tough years. They have no more Cam Rising excuse. Like, can they break through and do it again under Whittingham? Like, there's so much there, man. There's so much there. It is a great, great rivalry. Great rivalry.